Cool. So the first thing you want to do is, are you met with like this screen? Is this like the first screen you guys see? Something like this? Can I see? I don't remember what it looks like when you make a new account. Okay, cool. Yeah. So go ahead and click the create repository. It's a green button on the left. And this is basically a new project. This is how you make one. So we can call it something interesting like, I don't know, ghastly. The actual name of the repo is not super important. It just needs to be unique for each project. So come up with any name you want. You can call it example, anything. And then the description, we can leave blank for now. We're going to fill this in a bit. And go ahead and make it public. This will lead to nice things later on. And add a README. So typically all of the projects we're going to be doing is going to be in Python. So we're going to want to add a git ignore. I'll go over specifically what this git ignore is, but for now you can just type in Python here and it'll give you the Python git ignore. And we can choose MIT license. This is pretty standard stuff. I'll leave this on for a little bit. But this is the typical workflow to create a new GitHub project. Can you guys all see this? Should I make it bigger? Is it good? Cool. So once you've done all this, you can go ahead and click create repo. Yeah. And we now have a new GitHub project. So this is stored in GitHub currently. We need to get it onto our actual computer. There's a couple ways to do this. When you first make a GitHub account, you can only do it one way. You can only click on code and go to HTTPS and copy this link. The correct way to do this is using SSH, which stands for secure shell, but you need to create a key and upload it to GitHub. So we can go over this later if we have time, but it's kind of like an extra feature. It's fine just to do this HTTPS. I think eventually they're gonna phase this out, but for now it's fine to do. So go ahead and click the code button, HTTPS, and then click this copy. And you should have this link copied. Then you're going to want to open a terminal. If you are on Windows, you're going to need to first install git bash. So yeah, if you're on Windows, click the search button and type in git bash in the search bar, and it does like a kind of a diamond shape with like multicolored appear. If it does, try to install them. It's easy. You just press Command space and type in terminal, and it'll open. If you're on Mac, you can press Command space and then type in terminal, and then you should get the terminal. So if you're on Windows, go ahead and try to just type in, like, once you've opened git bash, type in git and see if it prints out anything. It should print out something similar to this. Yes. If you see this, type in this here. Type in GitHub GUI. If you can't get the git command to work and it's saying the Xcode's going to take like 2 hours, download, go to type in GitHub GUI and then click the first link and then just download and install. This would be a lot faster. It's technically cleaner to do it with the command line, but it's fine if you can't get it to work. So if you have either one up and running, we can keep going. I'll show you both ways. Let's do first the terminal and then I'll do the other one. So if you have the git command working, go ahead and open your terminal again and type in git clone and then paste in the HTTP code thing you copied from GitHub, your repo you just created. I know. So this is the first command. This is the first git command we're learning. It's clone. This will clone the repo from the web onto your local workspace. If you can't get the git command to work, alternatively, you can click this. You can open up the GUI. Can I make this bigger? Yes. Click add, clone repo, paste in your URL. You might need to sign in first, so then all you really have to do is just type in the name of your repo. It's not working. All right, it's fine. Just use your URL, paste it in. This is for the thing, and then click clone. These will literally do the same exact thing. So at this point, you should now have your repo on your local machine. So once you have your repo cloned, another thing we should download is Xcode or VS Code. This is from Microsoft. It's a file editor and IDE specifically. So you can open up any IDE you have already, but typically like the industry standard is VS Code, and it can do like pretty much everything. So just go to VS Code download and install VS Code. So once you have it open, click new window. You're presented with something like this. Let me make it bigger. All right. Click open folder and navigate to the spot where you cloned your repo. If you just open up the terminal when you cloned it, it will be in your home directory, which is the thing that automatically opens up when you open up Finder. Ghastly, so I'm going to open it. And this is our GitHub repo. Great. So the first thing you want to do is you really want your README to be a reflecting of somebody that's never seen your code base before. How are they going to use your code when they first download it from GitHub? This is what they're first going to be presented with, this README. So you're going to want to tell them things like where you're storing your data, like your collected data, how to run your program, what packages the program uses, things like this. So that way users of your software are able to actually use it flawlessly. You'd be surprised how many people do not have a README that tells them all this stuff and how frustrating it is to actually work with their code. So we'll get to this in a minute. But that is what the README is for. We're going to make a new file. You can click the new file button here, or you can just like double click in the Explorer. And I'm going to make one called main.py. So you notice that it turned green here, and this is U. So this is a new file that we're adding to this local workspace. I'm going to add something like we can make a new function here called main. And inside of that, we can just print hello world, right? And we need to run main. So we'll do something like this. So something very simple like this, right? Okay. The next thing to do here is we can run a git status. This will tell us like what our current status is. And we notice here that we have untracked files, main.py. We need to add this file to our local repo, so that way it can be pushed to the GitHub later on. So that way more people can see our file. So what we're going to do is we're going to run git add. You can either say the name of the file, like main.py, if you want to add specific files, or if you want to add all your files, you can just do period. This will add everything in the current directory. And the current directory is our project. So basically, it'll add all the project files that are new. Now, if we run git status, you see that a new file was added. It's green now. Oh, yes. So to open up a terminal in VS Code, you can press Control tilde. It's the top left, underneath the escape, the tilde, yeah. So now that we've had this new file added, we're going to commit it to our staged. We do this by running git commit -m for message. Here, maybe I should make this bigger. You can see it, I'm pretty sure now. Yeah. Add main. So this is a you can think of like a message or like a commit description of what you're doing to the files you're adding, right? So we're adding the main file. You're basically describing what you're changing in your project. That's what the commit message is for. So and you put it in quotes here. You say, I'm adding the main file. And now we're going to push it to the cloud, to GitHub itself. You do that with git push. So now main.py will be in our repo. We can verify that by going back here, refreshing. And you see how main.py is now in our repo. Great, right? If you were able to follow, yes. Okay, now let's say that you're a project lead and you want more people to work on your project with you. What you do is you create a new issue and you say, you describe the feature you want to add to your project. So for example, we can say missing, what's another like thing in Python you can do? Missing a print system properties. You can describe what you want to add, right? So print system properties. This is the thing, and we can say we want to create a method that will print our system properties. So I'm describing the feature I want to add to the project by doing this, right? I'm going to create. And then what you can do is you can assign people to this specific task, right? So to do this, I'm going to assign myself. Typically, whenever you add people to your GitHub repo, we can go over this in a minute. You'll see a drop down of all of the usernames on the current project. The only one on the project right now is just me, so I'm going to assign myself to this issue. You can create labels for this. You could say that this is an enhancement. It's going to add a feature to our project. It is, there's also things like bugs, documentation, duplicate. There's tags you can add to this issue specifically to describe more things about it. The other things, well, these things are not as important, but these are the two things. You assign people and you assign labels. And you describe the thing you want to add. So we want to print system properties. This is an issue, and we describe it more in detail here, and we assign people. So now we need to actually implement this functionality in our actual code. So to do this, I'm going to make a new function here. I'm going to import system print sys properties. And we can do something like this, right? We're going to print the version, the executable, and the path. And we want to run this in our main function. So then let's do a git status. And we see here that we have modified main. So we've already added main once before, but notice that we've modified it, so it's red again. We need to add it to be staged to commit to GitHub again. So we do the same thing. We do git add period or main.py, whichever you prefer. And then git commit. So you notice how we created an issue here and it tagged it with 1. So this is the first issue of our project. We can close issues by saying close number 1. This will, whenever you push this commit, it will automatically resolve the issue. And you'll see this happen. Let's do it. Git push, we'll send it to GitHub. So if we see how it closed the issue, I don't know if you guys saw that. It went from green to purple. The close thing went from green to purple. This was green, now it's purple. The issue is closed because I was able to we can now print the system properties, right? I did a really bad thing here. I pushed directly to the main branch. This is a big no-no. You don't want to push to your main branch. You want to have your main branch only run correct code. Think about if you have your main branch that people are going to be pulling from and they're going to try to run that project, but you're working on a bug still, and then they go to run your project, well, that bug is going to exist on your main branch. You only want to have correct, verifiable code on your main branch. So the way we get around this is we're going to make a new branch to test out things. So let's create another issue first. Print hello again. To showcase branches, we'll need to print hello. I'm going to assign myself. And this is, I don't know, let's say we can say it's a duplicate enhancement. So we're going to go back to the VS Code, and we're going to create a new branch from this point. The way you can conceptualize branches is kind of like a tree, really, is you start on your main and you're going to like branch off from main and you're going to work on a specific feature. And that's a very important keyword too. The way to do this is you do git checkout -b and then the name of your branch. So typically what developers do is if it's a bug, we'll do bug slash, or it might be bug fix or just bug. It doesn't entirely matter. Just specify what the kind of like folder is. So bug, and then we're actually, okay, sorry, I take it back. So this is a feature. So in this case, we're going to run feature slash print again. That's print again is the name of the feature. Feature is always feature. This is like you're saying I'm going to add a feature to our project, and that feature is print again, right? So now if you see here, you might not have this. This is because I have a specific shell installed, but it's telling me that I'm on the feature branch of print again. You can verify this by doing git status, and you should see that you're on branch feature print again. So branching is kind of confusing at first, but it'll make more sense as you use it. Let's try this. So we're going to do print hello world. Yes, and just so you guys know, there is no space between the slash feature and the name of the feature. It's one word, one long string, no space. So we're going to save this, and I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to do git add, git commit. I'm going to say close number 2 now. And whenever I try to push, it's going to give me this error, and it's going to say the current branch feature print again has no upstream branch. To push the current branch and set the remote upstream, use this. So you can just literally copy this. And it will work. It will push it to the right branch. So if you look at our repo, it says feature slash print again had recent changes pushed less than a minute ago, right? We can go to this branch by either clicking it here, or if you're on the main, if you're on this main home screen, you can actually click feature slash print again. And you notice that there's differences here. This says close to now, whereas main, it says closed one. So these are different branches. They have different things in the file itself. This is very important. So like I said, you don't break your main code. The main code should always compile, always work. You then create pull requests to pull branches into main. So you click, I don't know if you guys saw this, you once you have your branch pushed like this, you can either click here, compare and pull request, or you can go to that branch and click or actually, sorry, you go to pull requests and then new pull requests. You say, I want to merge feature/print again into main. We look here, this shows you the differences in the files. The differences is I just added this. That's what the green tells you. If I subtracted things from the file, it would be red with like minuses here. I then create the pull requests. And what's very important here is you want to assign somebody that isn't you to review your code. And they would go through it and they would look to see, you know, how does it look? Does it actually do what it says it does? You have to like have a peer review. That's what this is doing. Once you have somebody peer review it, you can create the pull requests. It's checking to see if you can merge it to main, and you can. There's no conflicts because all we're doing is adding to the main file, and then we can merge. So we merged it, and if you look here, there are no more issues because once we merged it to main, it closed that issue because we had it in the commit message. So now we have multiple features here, and you can see here merge pull request number 3 from feature/print again. So now we have this feature print again in our main branch, and it always works. That's the power of doing that. It might seem a little extra to do, but it will save you in the long run. It's very useful. So it is 7. I don't know if we need to stop now. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, okay. Cassie, a little bit. Okay. Okay, so we can do multiple things. I guess the most important thing would probably be talking about the readmes now. Maybe I should show you an example of a really good readme. So let's see here. This one I was working on. So you see here, I describe the project. I say it's YOLO, which is a machine learning algorithm for this other project I'm working on. I give you API documentation, and you can like open that up. You can see like how this is like the code I wrote, and you can see like multiple things with that. And all this is done inside of the README. Whenever you push to GitHub, the GitHub will look for this special file README, and it'll put it right here for you. And you tell people how to run your code. I tell them, first you clone the repo, you know, by running these commands. Python, you make a new virtual environment, you activate it, you install your requirements, you install PyTorch, then you can install the actual program, you get the data set, and then you can run it. I describe the full process of what you do with this repo. This is very, very important. Yeah, and you can see here some other like feature branches I was working on. This is a pretty good example of a good project. Yeah.